Well, hello and welcome to another weekly update. I am here with Gao. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good, good, good. I've had a quick peek at this week's update. It's looking really good. I cannot wait to get into this.
Yep.
Have you had a look at the notes?
I quickly skimmed through it. Haven't taken the time to go through them in depth, but I quickly skimmed through them. So.
Good, good, good. Well, here we are at week 27. Geez, I cannot believe it's been 6 months already. Can you?
Nope.
Wow. Alrighty, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. Could I have an audio check, if you please? And meanwhile, whilst you are doing that, I will welcome everybody to Icarus Update, week 27, Scorpion World Boss. How's about that then?
Audio is fine.
Thank
As
you.
for the Scorpion boss, yay! Next world boss.
Yeah. Now
I
there is
wonder what the size will be compared to the Scorpion King.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Plus, there's going to be an interesting twist to that, but we'll wait until we get into it before we start discussing that because I don't want to give anything away just
Righty-ho.
yet. Alrighty. So here we are. How do you fancy starting us off this week?
Sure. The Icarus Update, week 27, Scorpion World Boss. This week's update introduces the newest world boss to Icarus, the giant Scorpion. This new challenge will prove dangerous and is no longer limited to the desert biome. But if you can take it down, your reward may be the distinctive Scorpion armor with the strong stats and unique damage dealing perks. Jump
Wow.
into our new mission Husk Extermination to take down 2 of these apex predators and gather the valuable carapace you need to craft your new armor sets. Happy hunting, prospectors!
Oh, can't wait.
Indeed, I already know what our gameplay is gonna be.
Yeah, I would say that that's a pretty much a given. Pretty much a given.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm loving the images that go along with this week's update. They're just
Oh yeah.
so intriguing and absolutely fantastic. And I'm so excited.
Oh yeah. Me too.
Oh wow. So in this first image, you can see just down the bottom here, there is a prospector who is quite obviously going up against a very large scorpion. But as you say, it'll be interesting to see how large or small they are by comparison to the scorpion boss in Olympus.
So he's going up to it with a crossbow.
Yes, you can just make that out. I actually thought it was a spear when I first saw it, and I'm like, you're going up against that with a spear? Seriously?
Well, there is this workshop spear which is supposed to do was it? I thought it was a spear where you have the slow. Yes, the Icarus spear, 50% chance to slow on hit
Yeah,
and
yeah.
10% chance to immobilize.
Yeah, I seriously thought I would not want to be that close.
True. But I also do wonder, do these work against world bosses and mini bosses?
Yeah, well, if you remember last week's update, they said something about the world
Yeah,
bosses
but
being pretty much immune to everything.
was it the world bosses? But it did indeed. You're right. It did indeed state something like that.
Yeah. So, well,
Or was it against bleed?
oh, just immune against pretty much everything. I think he stated something along the lines of the bigger the bigger and larger the enemy, the more resistant it was to everything.
Was this in last week or was it 25? 2 weeks ago already.
You know something? I couldn't tell you. How bad
We're
is that?
getting,
We
we're
do this
getting a
every
lot.
week, and we do this every week, and I can't remember.
It might be 25, week 25 update actually.
Alrighty, well, we can certainly double check that.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty, Scorpion World Boss. The Scorpion World Boss is the second world boss to roam Icarus, and we will provide a frightening challenge when encountered in the wild. Larger, stronger, and with a strengthened hide and a fatal stinger, engaging this new threat is not advised, and any attempt should be executed with extreme caution. The world boss variant of the Scorpion is not restricted to the desert biome like its smaller counterparts and can be found in more foreign territory, requiring you to be on alert at all times. Dun, dun, dun.
So you're casually strolling through the forest and all of a sudden you see this giant scorpion popping out from between the trees. You're gonna run.
Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to run. I'll be running like a puppy with its tail between my legs.
I won't run like that because it's gonna cost me speed. I'll run as fast as I can.
Well, yeah. I mean, literally. I mean, the scorpions spawn in the desert. But seriously, I don't care where it spawns. You wouldn't see me for dust.
Oh no.
And so, yeah, this next image is absolutely brilliant. I cannot wait to try this armor out. It's going to be so good.
It's looking definitely looking nice. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. Yep. Alrighty. Would you like to read this week's comment?
Yeah. This week we are unleashing the Scorpion World Boss onto 6 missions, along with a mission to hunt a couple of them to discover the Scorpion armor recipes. The armor is a great combat armor that even has a chance for your assailants to hurt themselves when attacking you. But take care, as the armor set might also draw some unwanted attention. This from Sean, game designer.
Ooh, that's intriguing.
Yeah, so next time a Jaguar walks up to you, you're wearing this armor, the Jaguar's gonna die. You don't even have to do a thing.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good. Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. And underneath that is an image of a prospector in fur armor with the scorpion boss stinger tail right behind him or her. That's quite alarming, actually.
Oh yeah. Coming in from behind, from under the snow and ice. Yipsy.
Yeah. Well, I hope we get some. I really do hope we get some warning as to where it's going to be.
The talent and or that module might come in handy again.
Yeah, I was wondering whether or not we shouldn't test that out.
Yeah, I'll just take my 3 module suit and I'll take the World Boss module. By the way, it was indeed last week's mission where they added slow and immobilize resistance stats to all aggressive creatures based on size, difficulty, strength. Ranges from 10 to 50% and up to 100% for boss creatures. So yeah, slow and immobilize, not for boss creatures. World boss is a boss, so okay. Don't use that in our sphere against him.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, let's get into the next piece of information here. I did find that actually the information given for this week is much less than normal, but that the change log is just a little bit longer. So we'll keep going. I'm trying to keep the images until after we've read the paragraph above them. So apologies if you're looking at the bottom of your screen, but I'm trying very hard not to give too much away at this point. So here we have the Scorpion armor set. And it says, the reward for slaying this foe is the chance to craft the Scorpion armor set. Now, here's a question. Where is this set going to be crafted?
Textiles bench?
It could be the textiles bench. It could also be
The centaur armor was also in the textiles bench.
Yeah.
The weaponry in the inventory. The armor in the textiles bench. So I reckon it's going to be the same for this.
Well, we'll have to wait and find out, won't we?
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Do you want to take us through the next bit?
Yeah. The Scorpion armor comes with bonuses to projectile and physical damage resistance, plus some unique perks. Any foe who engages in hand-to-hand combat will take damage from its sharp exterior. Although the design is less camouflaged against the landscape, so may make you a target for nearby predators. Hand-to-hand combat, also hand-to-paw combat, and hand-to-jaw combat. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. To craft the armor, you need the unique carapace materials, which can only be gathered by engaging with the larger variant of the arachnid and break away from its hide as you deal damage. A full set of armor is available to craft with this week's update. Oh, I can't wait!
Attack with a knife again in order to get enough carapace materials. That's going to be tough. Ooh.
If they're anything like the Scorpion boss in Olympus, that's going to be difficult. And we've already found that the Styx missions tend to be, like a level above the Olympus missions. So it's like it raises the level up a bit, so it just makes it more challenging and more difficult and so much more exciting.
Oh yeah. Well, we can put a death counter in. How often are we going to die whilst trying to take down the Scorpion with a knife?
Oh, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. That would take an extra. That would maybe I'd have to take a couple of minutes extra to set that up. But yes, that can be done. That would be.
We need to craft a ton of knives.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking maybe we should both take a repair pack.
If we craft platinum knives or so. Or even
well,
titanium.
yeah, I was thinking more for our armor.
Good one.
Because if we die, that means we're going to be taking a hell of a lot of damage.
Oh yeah.
Which means that the suits are going to be at risk. So we know what we're doing in the stream after this, and I would suggest that we take our level 50 characters. What do you say?
Definitely level 50 characters, because the other one is still locked in a mission.
Yes, that's true.
So we'll have to take the level 50 characters.
Yes, we will. Alrighty, let's have a look at this next image. Oh, that looks nasty. Oh, look at the claws on that thing. Oh my god.
Yeah, quite decent sized pincers. Definitely.
Yeah. What gives you the impression that prospector is literally running for his or her life?
Let's have a look at the scorpion. I see lighter color topside.
Yeah, you can actually see the jaws on this thing. That's quite frightening.
So initially one could think it's dead already. However, if you look under the left pincer, you will see his paws. So he is definitely still upright. So he's definitely coming after the prospector.
Yes, yes,
Ooh,
for
that's
sure.
gonna hurt.
Oh man, they're gonna hit so hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. I mean, I could easily see them doing half health damage, and that's with like decent food.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now we have a new Scorpion mission, which is, if you wouldn't mind, please, Corne?
So, to introduce the new Scorpion world boss to Icarus, you've been tasked with a mission to eliminate a pair of the apex predators from the Styx territories. Your briefing is as follows. This is the Husk extermination mission. Operator is the Lagos unit, and basically all biomes. The background of this mission, Icarus' native Scorpion is an enduring threat to operations in all regions. However, it may have value as a resource for new recipes in development. Your mission is to track the creature to its origin and destroy it. Contribute to research on its materials before returning to orbit. The terms? Risk assessment for this contract is judged as extreme. Experienced contractors only.
Wow.
Whew, sounds nice. Couple of
Yeah.
things. So it is in Styx, not in Olympus. Now it says track the creature to its origin. Didn't we have the first scorpions in Olympus desert? And didn't they like come down with this pod we had to blow up? This is kinda destroying that storyline, but okay. And yeah, here, risk assessment, extreme. Experienced contractors only.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm liking this mission already.
Yeah. I mean, that last sentence makes me kinda it makes me very concerned for our well-being, because
Oh yeah,
we've never
will die, no thanks.
in in all of the time that we've been playing Icarus, and I'm including the beta weekends where we had the bear apocalypse one week and the wolf apocalypse the following week, or the following weekend I should say. We've never been warned about experience, ever.
Nope.
And so the fact that it says experienced contractors only, wow. I mean, that tells you everything you need to know, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But
Um,
we'll die, no doubt about it.
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's that's pretty much a given, I would say. And
Yeah.
the one thing that got me about this is that this is going to be in the Styx territories. It's not the
And
Olympus. It's not your usual run of the mill thing. They're adding this to Styx.
also a pair. So at least two.
Yeah. Now the question there is, do they come at the same time? Do you kill one and then the other one spawns? I mean, I don't
This,
think there's
this is unknown. It's a new mission. It's unknown. You don't even know where they're gonna spawn. They
no.
can spawn basically in each and every biome. So
Yeah.
you land right on top of one of them's corpse. That ain't gonna be fun. Well, it's gonna be fun to watch, but not to experience.
Yeah. I mean, good grief. And as I've already said, the Styx missions are already a level higher than the Olympus ones. And so, you know, in the knowledge that we suffered a bit with yesterday's live stream with doing
And this
the
is gonna be worse.
with starting the Ricochet mission with our level 20 plus characters. And
Sure, but
that's
we'll
just
be equipped. We'll be equipped with all the space gear we have, but this is gonna be one heck of a mission. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm so looking forward to this. I'm so looking forward to this. It's
Me
brilliant.
too. Me too.
And again, we have the image now. These scorpions here are surrounding a prospector who is in leather armor. Leather armor in the desert? Seriously?
Yeah, apparently. Also, looking at the size of these corps here, they're
Yeah.
normal,
The
but there are a lot of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't say these are normal scarps. I would have actually said these are slightly bigger than the skelly scarps that you get with the scorpion boss in Olympus.
Well, they're definitely not boss sized, not Scorpion King sized.
No. So this is going to be seriously interesting. I can't wait
Yeah,
to get into this.
we might, as this prospector has done, go for a gun.
Yes, I think that would be an extremely good idea. Um,
So a
and,
couple of
and,
hunter
and
rifles and a ton of ammo. Basically, if possible, if we find enough titanium, like 2 guns each.
yes, and even maybe take a machining bench and some extra materials so that we can fix them if we need to.
Yep.
Um,
Maybe a shotgun for backup.
and an absolute buttload of ammo.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that means charcoal and sulfur till it's coming out of our ears.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, you saw. When was it? Last week. Sure, you can take like 200 bullets, but your gun will give out before you're there.
Yes, exactly.
So, hence me saying, if we can find enough titanium, and I'm definitely gonna look for it, double up on the gun.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think maybe even taking, I think I might just take the Larkwell bow and keep it for, when we're running around.
Oh, I'm definitely taking the Larkwell bow.
Oh,
No
yeah.
doubt about
And a couple of cave boats. Listen to us planning already.
it. Yep.
All right. Well, instead of planning, let's get on with why we're really here, which is the update. So here we have the detailed change log. And the first two we have already covered. We have the added Scorpion World boss and the added Scorpion World boss armor.
So there's a new item, prototype creature tracker. Is this like the world boss module, but then craftable?
I'm not sure. I don't know. But I'm a little bit wary of that because the world boss tracker didn't work at all.
We didn't check it last week, but it said something in the patch notes about that being fixed.
Yeah. Yeah. Although, I'm not entirely convinced that I trust that right now. But moving on, adding new aura for providing a modifier that reveals the boss creatures on the map.
So if you're close to someone wearing this module, you can also see. That's basically what the aura means.
Right, okay. So that might be like, for example, when we were doing yesterday's mission, we were doing the third and final scan, and there was a worm that came heading towards the rock we were at. And as they travel, it puts up this like this plume of dust that you can see in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
So is that maybe what they're talking about? Something like that?
No, those new modules for the person next to you, more assistance against what was it, the cave column, and more carry strength. It works with a so-called aura. If you're within a certain radius, within a certain bubble, a certain aura, you will get the perk.
Oh, okay, right. That makes more
I
sense.
reckon it would be the same for this module then, where if you're within a certain bubble of the one wearing it, you also get this perk, so to say.
All right, yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. Okay, so we are adding stats for a percentage chance to return melee physical damage. And also, with that, you have the added stat for percentage of melee physical damage returned. So that
So these two,
sounds yeah,
they're linked to the armor, scorpion armor.
yeah.
From
Yes.
how I read it, these are tied to the scorpion armor. The return melee physical damage and the damage, the percentage of the melee physical damage returned. So it definitely
Yeah.
sounds to me like it's tied to your new scorpion armor.
Yeah, there is a word for that that I'm looking for that I can't find right now, but basically I read into that the boss will do you some damage and then your
Nope.
armor will kick back some of that damage to the attacker.
Not the boss, but once you are wearing the scorpion armor, everything or everyone attacking you, some damage will be basically reflected back to them.
Okay, so the question then becomes, does that apply to us too? In so much as if we're attacking it, do we have the possibility of getting the kickback?
Nope. Nope. Now this is for the armor. Remember how from the armor they said if something attacks you, it gets damage in return. This return. It does mean, however, if you're wearing this armor and I stab you in the face with a knife, there is a percentage chance and of a percentage damage to get returned to me.
Yeah, so there's my incentive for not firing an arrow at an enemy that's anywhere near you.
Here's the thing: it's only melee damage, so I'll still be shooting arrows. But yeah, hitting you with a knife might not be the best idea anymore.
Well, we can test that out, can't we?
Okay, I'll hit you with a knife. Don't worry.
Alrighty, but we'll leave that until the very end of the mission. Yeah, so we'll test that out.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next two are also linked to the two above, which is adding new stats to Scorpion armor and adding new damage type returned.
So the damage type returned is the chance to return the damage and the percentage of the damage. It's all tied to the scorpion armor. So basically, these four are all about the scorpion world boss armor.
Yes. Yes. And so if you take melee damage, then the type of damage returned is melee.
Yeah, it's only about melee damage. But if an animal attacks you, it is always melee damage. And you will do melee damage in return. Or at least there's a chance of doing this in a percentage, like a variable amount of damage.
Yes.
And it's a chance, and I don't know how big the chance is, cause we haven't crafted that armor yet.
No, we haven't. We haven't. Alrighty. Next up, we have. Oh, let me see. My cursor wants to try and move it, but I actually only want to highlight it. You want to take us through that one?
Sure. Updates to water immersion parameter. Slowed created LCL version and adjusted seek speed to be slightly slower. Added to other layers of croc since it's in the water a lot. So apparently this is for crocs only. Maybe they can find you a tad slower in a war. Adjusted seek speed to be slightly slower. And not sure what LCL version is.
Me neither. Yeah,
Looks Looks like they changed something on the clocks.
Yeah. Well, I do have to say, those suckers are fast in the water. Good grief.
It doesn't say anything about the speed, the movement speed in the water, though.
No, it just says that they've adjusted it to be slightly slower, which would be good because
The seek speed, not the movement speed.
yeah. Okay.
But
So would
they'll
this
still
this
be dark fast in the water.
yeah, would the seek speed be when you see that little eye above them and then you see it filling up to say
I think
how
so.
okay. Okay, so they'll actually see you a little bit slower. It'll take them a little bit longer to aggro on you from actually seeing you. Is that what that means?
I think so.
Alrighty. Well, we can handle that, I reckon.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Improved the machete skinning effectiveness and allowed it to reap plants.
So more yield from skinning, and you can also use it like a sickle. So you no longer need to carry both knife and sickle. You can just use a machete. The description of the machete now says vanquishes flora and fauna alike. And it now gives 110% yield from skinning and 100% yield from reaping plants.
Okay. My first comment to that statement is, wait a minute, we have a machete?
You didn't know?
Nope.
Yes, we have a machete. Has been there, I think, since beta already. It's tier 4. You
Really?
unlock machete, and then you unlock the combat knife, and then you unlock the titanium knife. Yes.
Wow. Oh well, that explains why I've never really seen it then. Because
Yeah.
we actually tend not to go for like created knives because I mean my level 50 character can create better knives with 25% of the resources or less 25% of the resources and better durability, but I don't really make platinum knives, and I can probably quite confidently maybe say that I haven't even unlocked the machete because I didn't know it was there.
I've used it before.
You
It
have?
looks badass. But
Cool.
compared back in the days, it was only fit for skinning, and the yield was meh for skinning.
All
I
right.
mean, the iron knife gives you 200% yield from skinning, and the
Yeah.
machete now, with the improved effectiveness for skinning, gives 110. So it was like 100% yield from skinning or so. So half of the iron knife.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I never. Sure, I used it once or twice, just for the fun, just for the visuals, you know. Because like I
Yeah.
said, it does look badass,
Yeah. All righty.
and you only need iron ingots, wood, epoxy, and a couple of steel screws to make it. So it's easy to make once you have the fabricator. That is, and it
Cool.
looks badass, but the yield is meh. But
All
hey,
righty.
we'll we'll check it out. We have to go to the fabricator anyway, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Sand mesh blended into ground at November 13. Floating rock moved in Kilo 6, and bug fixes on yellow and green quads in sticks.
Yeah, so basically, visual improvements on map.
Yes. Alrighty. Now, this was an interesting one, and I actually kind of thought, well, why would you do that? And this is, they've removed the leaf layer on the wood stack asset.
So if you make a wood pile, it had this layer of leaves underneath it. Apparently, they removed it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because you're making a wood stack, not a grass stack. So, the question then becomes, why would you even have a leaf layer on it
I don't
to
know.
start
Just
with?
just because it looks nice. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh well, what that is going to do is that's going to improve performance because there's going to be something less that the game has to put in.
True, true.
Okay, do you want to take us through the next few?
Sure. They edited the desert cliffs sticking out of impassable in the redquart sticks. Sticking out of impassable. No idea what I mean with impassable. Normally it means you can't pass, but sticking out of impassable, I don't know. But anyway, they did some visual changes to these sticks there. Maybe even some physical changes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. Well,
Mm,
that
it
might.
doesn't even state in map grid, so I have no idea where in sticks this is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Red Quad might be the southeast.
Well, we don't know, so
Exactly.
we'll take it as a given.
Yeah. So they reduced the crafted knife's durability. Uh-oh. And tweaked talents to help mitigate this. Well, actually, so now they're basically making the increased knife durability talent more worth it. So yes, for us non-knife crafters, it's bad news. However, for the people who have put talent points into the better knife crafting, more durable knife crafting, their talents became more valuable. So from that point of view, I can understand. After all, it's the same with the pickaxes, right?
Yeah.
Although they didn't reduce the pickaxes durability, but it is a nice difference in durability with the talents for the
Well,
crafted pickaxes. So basically, you're gonna do basically the same. Now again for the knives, which is good.
yeah. I mean, my instinctive response to that is, oh no. What that means that the knives that my level 50 character crafts are not going to be as durable, and then it gets to how on earth do they tweak the talent to help mitigate this, because they're taking it away on with one hand and giving it back to the other. That
Uh,
that kind of confuses me a little.
I don't know, maybe. So there is this reinforced blades talent, which gives 25% more durability on crafted knives. Maybe that percentage was lower.
Right.
Maybe it was, I don't know, 10, 15% more durability, and they upped this to 25.
Maybe. Maybe. I'll certainly be looking into that. That's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't see what the previous value was, the last week's value.
No.
So I don't know whether or not they changed it indeed the way I think they did. The way how I read this, they did.
Yeah, well, I don't. Memory, if memory serves me right, I don't believe that the talent for creating knives with better durability actually stated what the higher durability was.
Well,
Like what the percentage was.
it now says plus 25% maximum durability of crafted knives.
Okay, so they must have been higher than that then.
The percentage possibly has had been lower, but now they increased the percentage of durability you gain by this talent to offset the fact that they reduce the overall durability of the knives.
Okay. Okay. Next up, we have tweaked talent tree positions for better readability and aesthetics.
No idea. Apparently they moved some talents around or the other. I put them in slightly different position. I don't know. I don't know the entire layout of the talent tree by heart, so I can't say.
No, I don't either, but you know, I mean, as long as it doesn't make a difference to what you're actually spec'd into, then I really don't suppose it makes that much of a difference. It just looks better. And maybe it's easier to understand how you get from one bit to, you know, like one box to the next. So
Well, as long as they haven't changed anything in the order, it should be fine. Because some
yeah,
talents are depending on other talents, and then you can't swap those two around because then the order isn't correct anymore.
yes,
But I don't know.
they do have to keep that in mind, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. Next up.
This was an interesting one.
Yeah.
Ammo count displayed on user interface is now cached, improving performance. And here I'm reading it from last week's patch notes. Ammo count displayed on user interface is now cached instead of being recalculated per frame, improving performance.
Okay. So have they done it twice, or is it just they've tweaked last week's one?
I don't know, maybe they forgot it in last week's one and they were like, now like, oops, we should have added it. Or they've tweaked it twice, or they forgot to put it in last week, or I don't know.
Well,
Fact is, last week's patch notes basically had the same bullet point as this one.
yeah. Okay.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Still,
well, if it
performance
improves,
improvements is performance improvement. So yeah.
yeah. If it improves performance, we like that.
Exactly.
And the next one, please.
So update asset info tool to scan complex collision as simple meshes to verify their setups for performance implications. Meshes for what? What objects? This
idea.
is a bullet point. I'm like, okay, apparently you did something to do something and having something to do with performance.
Yeah. Now,
I'm sorry, I can't make head of tails of this one, sorry.
one of the things that I actually noticed about that particular comment is it says update, not updated. So it's almost as if that's a note to whoever, you know, that's a this needs to be done mark for whoever is making the improvements and bug fixes.
If that is so, then it's the same for the next one.
Yes. Update several meshes which had less than ideal setups to improve performance and quality. Many meshes needed additional 1 or 2 LODs for visual and collision reasons. Now that one sounds like it has actually been done because they've used the word needed.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we've seen it before where they had slight typos. So
yeah,
update asset info might very well be like they have done it already. This one here, well, many meshes need additional 1 or 2 LEDs for visual collision reasons. So apparently they improved they tweaked the code a bit, so the meshes needed less 1 or 2 less LODs for the visual collision reasons. So basically less calculations, basically improved performance. Good.
Alrighty. Well, we love player performance increases.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Player character names have been added to mission objectives in Rendezvous Delivery. Well, I believe we haven't done that mission. Is that a Styx map or is that an Olympus mission?
It is a Styx mission.
Okay, well then it's one we haven't done then. Yet.
And the yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I have no idea why why it needs player character names to the mission objectives. Isn't that like every player has to do the same certain step or something?
I don't know. Well, we'll find out when we do it, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Adding navigation blocker to the delivery container so that the mammoth boss will no longer get stuck on rendezvous delivery. Okay, so now we know that there's a mammoth boss in rendezvous delivery, even though we haven't done it yet.
Yep. Oh well. So they added a navigation blocker to the delivery container. So okay, so the mammoth boss could get stuck behind the container and then trying to walk through it and basically walk in place, so it was easy to kill him. Well, I'm glad they fixed that.
Yeah,
Otherwise, the mission would become too easy.
yeah. That's
Even
one
though
of
it's still a sticks mission.
yeah, that's one of these instances where they actually change the waypoints of the NPCs so that so that it'll go round it rather than into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next 3, please.
Alrighty. So they fix an issue where pickup sounds would not play when players picked up a creature or fish corpse. Never actually paid that much attention to the sound when I picked up creatures or fishes.
Well, that might be because there wasn't one.
Yeah, and now they are, which is good.
Alrighty.
They fixed missing textures on destructible meshes for the horizontal and the diagonal stone beams. Well, we basically only use them vertical, so never noticed that those were missing. Additionally, weather doesn't damage those beams, so it has to be then damage from animals or someone deliberately hitting it, which we don't normally do either. So yeah, again, I wasn't even aware we were missing textures.
Yeah.
And they fix animal bone Niagara particle not playing when fully harvesting carcass skeleton. I assume the Niagara particle is some kind of audio cue.
It sounds like it.
Again, was there a difference when you got the last hit on a carcass in? I don't recall.
No, it was just it sounded like like when you use a knife to destroy a skeletal carcass, it always sounded the same. So we'll have to pay attention to that and see if there's a different one.
Yeah.
Okay.
They removed spark and glow on hit particle from impacts with bone type physical surface. If you were hitting a carcass with your knife, you saw some, I don't know, bone dust flying around, which is here called spark and glow on hit particle. I don't know. And they removed it.
Maybe. Well, that sounds about right because bone isn't a metal, and you would usually only get spark and glow if you're hitting metal against metal or stone against stone, for example.
Or stone against metal.
Well, yeah.
Metal against stone.
Yeah.
Depending on the type of stone and the type of metal, but yeah.
Alrighty.
The next one is a big one.
Yeah.
One I've seen a lot of complaints about.
Yep.
So people, the player gravestones now have a static overflow bag placed in the exact position they died. This gives anyone else a secondary interact revive location in the case of a ragdoll's body clipping through the world or becoming unreachable. Many times in Discord I've seen people complain about, I died, my body is underneath the world, I can't get revived, now I have to remove from Prospect. Because I can't
Yes.
respawn, and if I can, even if I can respawn, I lose all my equipment.
Yes, or you have the opposite problem that we experienced in Voyager Recovery.
Yeah.
Open brackets, please see Funnies, Fails, and F-Ups episode 1, close brackets, where you died and your body was nowhere to be found, and it was only when we were heading back to the dropships that you were like, I don't know, 100 feet
Well,
up in the air and we couldn't get you.
a remark here is I did use the unstuck option, which in retrospect I shouldn't have done, but then again, I still wouldn't have been found. The
Yeah.
unstuck might have been the reason I ended up this high. But yeah, many times I've seen people complain like, I'm under the ground, or even I got hit by a polar bear and it threw me halfway the map and I'm in out of bounds territory now, or I'm halfway up the stratosphere, things like that.
Yeah.
At least
Yes.
this should fix these issues. Something I am very glad about that they fixed this, because this was annoying as heck.
Yeah. Although I will say I'm not particularly keen on testing that theory.
Not. Why not? I thought, yeah, you can test it, no problem. Uh, alright. You
Okay.
know what? And to test this out, I'll keep an eye out on the Icarus Discord. Yeah, see if we get less complaints about this now.
Yes. Yes. That'll be quite interesting. I reckon.
Huh.
Alrighty. They fixed a minor bug in the talent tree, allowing you to unlock certain talents without the visual requirements.
So if you have a chain of talents, depending on previous unlocked talents, apparently sometimes it was possible to unlock a talent if you, even though you didn't have the talent leading towards that talent, even if you hadn't unlocked that one yet. So
Yeah.
fix it. This is good.
Yeah, because you shouldn't be, I mean, I've also found that, there have been times when I've wanted to unlock something, but haven't been able to because I don't have the visual cue that it's available.
Yeah. Yeah, but
So,
also like I want to skip this talent because it's not that useful to me, but I have to do it in order to get to this extremely useful talent.
yeah,
Like the talent to turn wood into sticks. You first have to unlock a talent for increased yield from trees.
yes,
I don't care about the increased wood from trees, but I do want the sticks from wood. So
yes,
I had to put one talent point into the increased wood from sticks.
yes, yes. So the
And
one,
apparently there were occasions where you could do the underlying talent without first spending a talent point on the leading talent, so to say.
yes, that's entirely dependent on the chevron level of the talent required.
Not only. There's a
So,
double requirement. Some talents you need a certain level in the tree, the chevrons,
yeah,
in order to unlock it.
mm-hmm,
But others, like I said, there is this talent chain. You have to follow
yes,
the chain of talents.
yes, yes. Alrighty. They have updated the descriptions on steel bloom, anvil bench, and fireplace to better communicate steel smelting requirements. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Anvil
Sorry.
bench is anvil and fireplace is concrete furnace.
Yeah, I was just going to say we don't melt. We don't make steel in a fireplace.
It would be nice, because the fireplace is tier 1.
Oh, that would be brilliant. I mean, could you imagine just sticking some steel bloom into the fireplace and bingo, you've got some steel ingots? That would be
Yeah,
fantastic.
you don't
Um,
need to make the cement mixer and craft this concrete furnace
yeah.
before smelting steel.
Yeah. Now this actually hails back to the time where we were able to get the sandworm armor,
Yeah,
and they were saying that you had to do it in the armor
armor
bench or
bench.
or
Yeah,
or, or something else, and I'm like, wait a minute, we don't even have an armor bench, and it
Turns out to be the textile bench.
Yes, it's directly linked to their own physical description of something. And here again, you know, they haven't used the right terminology here, and that's really, really confusing.
That confusing indeed. In this case, it's clear which benches they mean. Anvil bench is anvil, obviously. So
Yeah,
it's clear the fireplace has to be the concrete furnace because that's where you smelt the irons.
yeah,
The steel, sorry. That's
yeah.
where you make the steel.
Yeah. Now, the thing to do with that is it's just purely down to their own
Or
individual description.
MXC furnace.
It could be, yeah. But I believe that the MXC furnace only smelts iron and copper like the stone furnace.
Yeah, but at least at some point, didn't the description say for all your smelting needs?
Yes.
Something like that?
Yes.
So everything?
Yes.
And then it turned out to be only copper and iron? So maybe you can now also smelt steel in the MXC furnace. I'd have to check this.
So does that mean that we can cook food in the concrete furnace?
Well, I would say on top of the concrete furnace, yes.
Oh yeah, definitely on top, and for sure on top of the pot-bellied stove. But anyway, it's just going back to the fact that I really, really wish that they would use the correct terminology when it comes down to these updates, because they're going to do nothing but confuse people.
Well,
it's happened before, and that's a prime example of it having happened again.
The correct name. Well, there's your truth, there's their truth, and there's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a developer, you don't play the game, and you only work with the descriptions as they are put in the code, and there it says furnace or fireplace, sorry. Then it might very well be that they use in their world, in their experience, the correct terminology.
Yeah. Alrighty. Next up, they have fixed a case where the craft queue button on the backpack crafting screen would not become enabled after adjusting amount being crafted to a valid amount.
Backpack crafting screen. So if you manually type in 10, where you can only craft 5, then the craft button is not available. Now if you lower the amount back to the amount you can actually craft, apparently the craft button still didn't become available, and they fixed that now.
Oh yes, that makes total sense. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's really good. That's good. Next up, we have several cave fixes on Olympus. Cave entrance missing in yellow quad Omega 12. Improved the cave entrance in red quad Foxtrot 1 and Foxtrot 2. And removed the white bush from yellow quad. Removed floating voxel in cave in yellow quad.
Okay,
Again.
so yellow quad Omega 12, that is southeast.
Yes.
Red quad Foxtrot 1, 2, that is northwest.
South, yeah.
So yeah, the cave entrance missing in O12 cave. What? Cave entrance missing? So nobody could find this cave? That's annoying.
Yeah, that would be annoying. And in Olympus too, we've been playing that for months.
Yeah, but I think we have visited the cave multiple times from the looks of it.
I would have to have a look at the map to find out, but
Improve the cave entrance in Foxtrot 1, 2. Oh, there's the where you spawn in the northern in the Riverlands, and where then if you go north towards the river behind the little lake there, the big ass cave,
yeah,
the roundabout inside, that cave. So apparently they made it easier to access the cave.
Yeah,
Well, it wasn't really a problem. We've been there many a times.
yeah. Alrighty. Would you mind taking us through the next 6, please?
Sure.
Unfortunately, my physical health is not so great today, and I need to go for a really quick bio break. So,
Sure.
if you start that off, and I will be back as soon as I can.
Alrighty. So they fixed a bug on a client where arrows attached to an NPC that just died could become reattached strangely or float in the air. I personally haven't experienced this myself because I'm always hosting, almost always hosting. But yeah, then the animal is dead, and then the arrow is somehow sticking out of weird places in the corpse. Maybe, I don't know, float in the air above. That's something I have seen before. Floating in the air just above the animal. So they fix it. Good. It's just visual, but still. The fixing issue where the aura modules were not correctly adding the buffs to nearby players. This was what I was mentioning before about the modules they introduced a couple of weeks ago, the strength boost module and the healing boost module, which we tested and they did not work. Looks like they fixed those issues now, and now these modules should work. So player A carries these, has equipped the strength boost module, and prospectors nearby can then carry more weight. And the healing boost module, player A is wearing the module, and players nearby him have then quicker healing from bacterial infections, parasitic infections, poisons, and physical trauma. So we have to retest those modules then, because apparently now they fix it. Good, because the modules were worthless. Fixed not being able to scroll between focused hotbar slots on inventory and crafting screens. This is the bug where the scroll wheel stopped working. If you have an inventory screen open, be it with the tab, being it having a bench opened, whatever, and you use the scroll wheel, then basically the scroll wheel stopped working. You could mitigate this by rebinding those functions to other keys, or the mouse keys or keyboard keys. But apparently they fixed the scroll wheel thing again, which is good. So I have to rebind my my setting and my keys there. But hey, I'm
Yeah,
glad I fixed it because it was annoying.
yeah. Both you and Carl experienced that issue. I didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't affect me, but it did affect both you and Carl.
Oh yeah, it did.
So I'm glad they fixed that one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, they have fixed the issue where Sandworm wouldn't spit at target if there was a non-player character within melee range. Possibly fixed issue where Sandworm would go dormant while player was nearby.
Sandworm wouldn't spit a target. It was an NPC within melee range. I can't say we ever experienced that actually.
No, I mean in yesterday's mission, was it yesterday's?
Those were cave worms, not sandworms.
Okay, well, yeah, okay, yeah. I have to be honest and say I can't say I ever noticed that they wouldn't spit at a target if there was.
The fireball and the poison balls and stuff.
Yeah.
As for the where sandworm would go dormant while player was nearby, I have seen people a couple of times complain about this in the Discord. Indeed, like I was fighting the sandworm and then I went away a bit for recovering my health, and I came back and the sandworm didn't come back no more.
Yes.
I hope that is what I fix here, because it was annoying for people because you spent a couple of hours in the mission And you basically had to abandon the mission because the sandworm that didn't spawn no more. You couldn't finish your mission.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that
So for
makes
those
sense.
players' sake, I hope they fixed that.
Yes. Yes. Now means that you should be able to finish the mission.
Yeah. If you haven't taken off again, removed from prospect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which most likely the people have done already.
Yeah. Well, those people that maybe had to abandon it can now return to it and finish it.
Yeah, but it wasn't consistent.
Yeah.
It happened for some people, for others it did not. And people who had that issue, if they restarted the mission, they tried again, and then it worked. And so there must have been some quite specific set of circumstances causing this.
Yeah. Alrighty.
But hey, it's fixed, so good.
Yeah. This next one is one that we definitely experienced, to the point where it was a member of our chat actually suggested how to try and fix this. And this reads as: beacons can now be deployed using the right-click context menu. Excellent.
Yeah,
Because
if you right-clicked it, it said destroy, repair. It didn't say deploy. You had to put it in your hotbar in order to deploy.
It said drop or destroy.
Repair, I believe.
Okay. But you certainly couldn't deploy it from your right-click menu, that's for sure. And when we did experience this, we're like, well, how on earth are we supposed to use it? Which means if we can't use it, then we can't do the mission. And the mission was based upon the fact that you had to do 3 of these beacon scans. And it was actually a member of our chat who was watching us live who said, and I quote, "Have you tried putting it in your hotbar slot?" unquote.
Yeah.
And that was the only way that you could deploy it. You had to put it in your hotbar. Now, unless things are already in my hotbar, I'm not used to deploying it. I'll just use it from my inventory and deploy it from there.
Yeah, same here.
You know, so that was quite a big one, because when we first encountered that issue, it was, oh my God, are we actually going to be able to finish this mission if we can't deploy these flaming beacons?
Yep.
You know, okay, so they fixed it. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And the next one, if you please.
They fixed a bolt action rifle using the wrong shoot animations for third person view. Well, we don't really use bolt action rifle, so I wouldn't know about this.
No, I don't use a bolt action rifle. I've never used a bolt action rifle.
If I'm using it, I'm always using it in first person, never in third person, because I can't aim for shit when I'm in third person.
Yeah, I can't play the game if I swap out my character view from third person view, from first person view to third person view, I just can't play the game, because the being able to see the character means that the movement of the character is different, because you're looking at it from a different perspective, and I just cannot do it. I cannot do it. The only time I'll ever actually look at something from a third-person view is if we're dropping in, or we're taking off again, and I'll go into third person and I'll wave to the peeps.
And when you have a new piece of armor and you want to look how it's, you want to see how it looks on you.
Yeah, because I think the last time I used the third person view for that was when I bought the hunter armor.
And when we did the sandworm armor.
Yeah. And when we each had a different type of armor, so one of us had the nail, and then you had the minor. That was it. Carl had the nail, you had the minor armor, and I had the hunter armor. So we got a screenshot of all 3 armors right next to each other. Yeah. And that's really the only time that I use the third person. I certainly can't play from a third person viewpoint. But there you go. They fixed that using the wrong shoot animation, which is a good thing.
Yep.
Okay, the post artificial intelligence death lifespan of actors spawned via BP manual AI spawner basic is now 15 seconds instead of 3 seconds. This fixes the issue where cave worms could be destroyed before they finish their death animations.
So yeah, if cave worm dies, it like flips backwards and then it disappears.
Yeah.
Within 3 seconds. So sometimes it disappeared before it finished the animation.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't exactly think that we were complaining about that.
Nope. But now I wonder, will this also fix the issue of the Kia birds, dead Kia birds, not staying pinned to the world if you take the arrow out? So basically,
Very good
a Kia,
question.
if you die, if you kill a Kia in sticks,
With
quite
an arrow.
regularly it disappears before you can even skin it.
Yes. Yes. So if you
Hopefully
shoot,
they fix that now as well.
yeah, if you shoot a Kia on the floor that's sitting on the floor with an arrow, you actually had to skin it before you took the arrow out, because as soon as you took the arrow out, it became a ghost bird.
Yeah.
So
Styx being the underworld river, so undead Kia is no longer being pinned to this plane of existence. If you take the arrow out and thus vanishing, well, it's a nice bit of lore there, but it was a tad annoying sometimes.
yeah, yeah. I mean, Kias
I
don't
mean,
give.
they
Kias
they
really
don't
don't
give
give.
much,
Yeah, I was just going to say
but
they don't
still,
give much anyway. But
yeah, but still, hey, I shot a Kia from the air, yay! Now I'm gonna skin it. You accidentally pick up the arrow and the Kia disappears, and yeah, come on.
yeah, I had that actually. I remember
I
having
put a
said
lot of
to you,
effort and a whole 3 seconds into shooting the Kia. Now I want the satisfaction of actually skinning it.
"I'm getting my arrow back."
Well, if you pick up the arrow, you have your arrow back already. So.
Yeah, yeah, but you could either do one or the other.
Well, if you skin it with the arrow still in it, you get your arrow back. But if you pick up the arrow, you still have your arrow back, but the Kia disappeared.
Yeah.
So maybe this has been fixed now as well.
Oh, that would be nice.
It's not game breaking. It's
No.
just a tad annoying sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Alrighty. Fixed animation bug where pistol hammer would return to the fired position after reloading. Well, I've never used a pistol, so I really couldn't tell you anything about it.
I may have used it once or twice, but the damage it does is it's a very little amount of damage it does.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not worth it. Just spend a bit of more steel and get yourself a bolt action rifle. The ammo costs are the same. The gun cost is slightly more for a bolt action rifle, but the damage output is way more.
Yeah,
So
I would have said
pistol
that.
ain't worth it. It's just a nice gimmick, but not really useful.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So yeah, since I've never used it, I never encountered this bug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, this one again is a notable one. Fixed cases where ore drills would not restart correctly after loading game or could enter states where they could not be reactivated. Note, bio drills would turn off automatically the first time you load game after this patch. On subsequent loads, they should preserve their running state.
Yeah, so basically, well, we never properly tested this. Of course, usually, if you're that far into a mission, you finish the mission in the same session. But I've heard this before, and actually, this has been in patch notes before, a couple of weeks ago. Apparently, if you have a running biofuel and/or electric drill, the deep mining drill, you logged off, you logged back in, it was always off. So you had to visit all your drills and start them again. A couple of weeks ago, they already put in patch notes. They fixed it. They would look at the previous state and then continue in that state. If it was off when you logged off, it stays off. It was on when you logged off. It turns on again after logging in. Apparently it wasn't fixed proper yet. Now for the bio drills, if I look at this note, it looks like they changed the code behind the biofuel drills this time around. So there is a bigger chance of it being fixed. There's also obviously the chance of the biofuel drills now completely being broken.
Yeah,
After all, it is a code change in function of your biofuel drill.
yeah.
But
Now,
yeah, we don't use the deep drills that often, and usually if we do, I tend to go for the electric ones anyway. Sure, it'll take a bit longer and a bit more materials to craft. But if you have a generator, you can run multiple items off of it, and it'll only cost one biofuel can instead of a biofuel can for each drill. And also, the electric drill has a bigger storage capacity.
yeah, yeah. Well, that kind of tidily takes us into the next one, which states fix the case where the excuse me, fixed case where electric drills could continue to run without power.
That's cool. So you turn off the generator and the drill keeps on running.
Well, we never had that issue.
Again, we don't use them that often.
Yeah, that's true. That's
And
true.
if we do use them, and if we do log back in, then basically the first thing you do is you fire up your generator again, because you need the power for all other things.
Yeah.
If you have a fridge, for example.
Yeah, that's true. So that's good. Although I do have to say that had we known that that was the case, we would probably have spammed the heck out of it.
But then again, when have we ever been short on materials?
Not
Yeah,
very.
okay, titanium, platinum, maybe, titanium, maybe, but there are no titanium deep drills, deep veins.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we certainly haven't seen any yet.
I
Although
don't think they are in the game.
they are supposed to be as part of the pack, but nope.
No, they are not in the scanner either.
Okay, fixed drills not mining at correct speed for the deposit they are placed on after loading the game.
So either slower or faster, I don't know. Again, we haven't been using those drills a lot. And definitely not in a multi-session mission.
No, well, multi-session missions for us are not particularly common because we
Nope.
tend to try and just power on through. And actually, I have to say that more recently, the only multi-session
mission.
Yeah, multi-session missions have been
Thursdays.
the Thursdays with the low-level character in the Styx missions.
Yep.
Um,
So, and then again, how often are you standing right next to a drill and actually timing how fast it is drilling? Usually, you run over there, you grab the stuff, you run back.
Yeah, well, I mean, the point is, how are we supposed to know what the correct speed is anyway? So,
well, if it is a different speed after reloading the game than it was before reloading the game, then you know one of the two is wrong.
Yeah.
Simple.
Alrighty.
Yeah, like I said, we don't use those drills a lot. 2, we don't do multi-session missions a lot. 3, I never look at it like how fast is it mining. The only thing I do look at sometimes is which way is the drill bit spinning.
Yeah.
Is it pulling ore from the ground or is it pushing the ore back into the ground? Visually.
Yeah. Now, the only other thing that we actually maybe do note with regards to the speed is, oh, it's so slow, it's going to take ages for us to get enough of whatever it is we're drilling in order to be able to use it. But that's
then use the electric one.
Yeah, but that's a very generic complaint. It's like, oh, everything is just too slow.
Plus, you don't want it to be too fast either, because then
you can't empty it quick enough.
You can't empty. Well, you might be able to empty it quick enough, but then you're like, yeah, why should I even bother going to a cave anymore if I get like 500 ore a minute from a deep drill?
Yeah,
It's gonna be too much.
yeah,
Sure, it is slow now, but you just have more time for other things.
yeah,
Simple. You can do other things whilst you are waiting to get enough resources.
yeah. Well, we do still have quite a bit to get through, so let's get cracking. Removed dynamic snow from ore materials used in visual effects, fixed snow particle issues on voxels.
Voxels say they in nodes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Apparently, during a snowstorm, snow collects on top of the nodes and disappears after. That's what I read from Dynamic Snow.
Alrighty, yes.
They removed it. Maybe they're not covered in snow anymore during snowstorm. I don't know.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, we'll soon find out.
Yeah,
Fix the Kia spawning inside of buildings.
spawning inside of buildings. So, like fish, have this fixed spawn point. Scripted animals have a fixed spawn point, which we clearly saw in some of our missions, where you have to defend the radar and animals spawn in out of thin air in the same spot. Kia obviously also has spawn points.
Yeah.
And apparently, if you manage to find such a spawn point and you build a structure around this spawn point, Kias spawned inside the building. Easy Kia hunting.
Yeah,
So I
can't
reckon
say
they
as we've
now.
ever had that though.
So I reckon they now do a check. Like, is this spawn point sheltered? Yes. Don't spawn. No. Spawn.
Yes. Yes. Well, that makes sense. We don't want Kias inside of the house.
Well, unless you do it deliberately.
Yeah.
And then comes the question: how in the real world can they spawn inside a building?
Yeah.
So yeah, for added realism, it's a good thing
Yeah.
they fix this.
Alrighty, next up we have fixed regression with latest update to client server projectile attachment replication breaking, ability to auto pick up attached arrows when picking up a carcass. Also fixes arrow not being automatically added to loot inventory when skinning a carcass.
Let's take the second half first. It's easy. So apparently, not always, if you skin an animal, the arrows got into the loot inventory.
Mm-hmm.
Last week's patch notes update was like that all the arrows now, all the non-broken arrows now, are inside this loot box, and we have tested this indeed. You recover way more arrows nowadays, but
Yes.
apparently it didn't always work.
Yeah, especially with the
They
cave
fixed that.
worms.
Well, do keep in mind the percentage break chance of your arrows.
Yes.
But I've had instances now where in the cave room droppings there were 2 arrows if I needed to kill it.
Yes.
So definitely working for me.
Yeah, me too.
As for the projectile attachment replication breaking ability, so auto pick up attached arrows when picking up a carcass. And also a regression. Ah, wait. Fix regression with the latest update to the. Okay. So last week's update was this projectile attachment replication. So you pick up the carcass, you get multiple arrows back
Mm-hmm.
if they're still in the carcass. Well, usually you skin and then they are in there after last week's update.
Yeah.
Never actually tried with picking up the carcass to see how many arrows you retrieve that way. Apparently, it didn't work completely. They're talking even about a regression, so a rolling back to previous version, and apparently they fixed it.
Yeah.
But definitely have to try it out. Try and not one-shot kill animals and then pick up the animals and see how many arrows you retrieve that way.
Yeah.
But it might become a tad hard to not one-shot kill those animals, even in sticks.
Yeah.
Especially with the larval bow.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Next up, we have the spoiled meats and spoiled plants can now be placed in the icebox and the fridge. This means that if food spoils while in the fridge or icebox, the spoiled meat or plants item is created. Let me try that last bit again. This means if food spoils in the fridge or the icebox, the spoiled meat or plant item created is not lost.
Yeah, I don't recall having seen spoiled meat in fridge, even though it spoils in fridge.
Yes, but that for me
Albeit
was
slower.
an up point, because if you've got empty spaces in your fridge and your freezer, you don't want spoiled meat or spoiled plants in there.
Look at it from the other side. You can use it for making poison pills, which are
Or
becoming a
fertilizer.
thing in the poison pills are becoming a thing in Icarus, in sticks especially.
Yes, that's very true.
Fertilizer, true. Although we don't use fertilizer a whole lot.
No, we don't, not anymore.
Yeah, for the people who do still use it, yeah, definitely. So at least if the food spoils, because it spoils in iceboxes and fridges, which is good for realistic. If it does spoil, at least it doesn't get wasted. You at least keep the spoiled food or the spoiled plants. Good.
Yeah. Okie dokie. This next one was a little bit of a what the hell, and why bother adding it to the patch notes, because it's really quite irrelevant. But they added a full stop to the steel pickaxe description.
Yeah, again, I can't compare it with pre-update. Apparently the description text didn't have a full stop, so some text got into the wrong place or ran out of the description box or whatever. I don't know.
Well, that's
it's only a visual thing on the description, but still.
Yeah, I mean, that's a grammatical error. I can tell you right now that has been overlooked by you on hundreds of occasions. I mean, how many steel pickaxes have you made us over the last 6 months?
And not a whole lot.
No, but did you ever notice that there was a full stop missing?
Not really.
Right.
Because
exactly
I cast it and I don't look at the description. Because I know what it is, I know what I need, so I just craft it.
Yeah.
I don't look at the description.
Alrighty.
But still, they fix it, so that's good.
Okay. Adding worm cave. Okay, you read that one. I can't talk properly right now.
Adding cave worm egg nest audio, gloopy sound and close-up heartbeat. Added egg opening audio and creature die when destroyed. Small adjustments to the sack opening sound for the egg nest. Also added zebra carcass to the correct data table entry for audio, so it plays the pickup sound. This must be some mission-specific thing. Cave worm egg nest. Never seen one, so I reckon it is one of the Styx missions. Where you apparently have to look into cave worms, and then you find a nest, and then the eggs pop and cave worms come out, and blah blah blah.
Yeah. Now,
looks like an interesting mission to do.
It does indeed. It does. I am going to ask you to do the next two, because I again need to have a bio break. I will say for the first one, though, this one really does look like a note for the developer.
Not really.
Don't use
Don't use MetaX icon as default icon in a generalized mission unlock text for workshop item nodes. I have seen screen prints, although not for workshop items so much, but more for mission. There were people who, in the mission tree, all of a sudden, on the non-unlocked missions, they had all the same icon and the same text and a generic placeholder. Have not seen this for workshop items though, like the not unlocked workshop items having a generic placeholder. For me, that has never been an issue. As for the missions, I've unlocked everything already, so I never encountered this either. But I do recall having seen questions about this and screen prints posted in the Discord channel. So yeah, this was a thing, and apparently they fixed it, which is nice. Of course, it didn't break anything, but it didn't look good either. And the next one, disable the pawn swarm attached to BPQ 6C Expedition Drill Cave 2. This fixes the issue where cave worms were spawning underneath the map when drilling at the second drill spot inside a cave. And a possible fix for the audio cue triggering too early during this mission step also. This must be the mission we did last night, where we had to drill through the cave twice. Apparently, sometimes some of those cave worms were spawning underneath the map instead of on top, so you couldn't kill them. They still screech and spat, and the audio cues for it and everything. Not sure whether or not they were able to poison you from underneath, but you definitely couldn't kill them. So they fixed this. Good.
Well,
As for the audio cue triggering too early, not sure which audio cue was triggered too early for this mission. I was a tad too busy playing the mission instead of paying a lot of attention to audio cues.
I think I did experience this because I went into a cave that had already been cleared. And it was, I think it was yesterday's one where, yesterday's stream where I ran to the cave that was closest across the street, across the couple of streams to the east. And then I ran back, and then I ran back to the cave to pick up stuff that I had to drop in order to take the resources home. And I actually ran into the cave. Now, the worms didn't spawn because my return to the cave was quick enough that prevented that. But I did actually hear the sound of them popping up and screeching. And I'm like, where the hell are they? Because there's no worms in here.
No, this is specifically to the second drill spot.
All right.
That mission step, the second drill, like I said, the second drill where we all of us almost died or completely died.
Yeah. Alrighty. Okie dokie. Well, if they fix it, that's a good thing. We love fixes, don't we?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, fixes are always good. Always good.
So they added a small delay to dialogue table for positive and negative one-shot lines, so that in missions they don't happen the instant the player achieves the goal. Particularly noticeable in Gossamer research mission.
Again, a mission we haven't done yet.
And Gossamer research is actually the one with the nest thing. So we definitely have to play that one
Oh, right.
anytime
Okay,
soon.
that one must be linked to the one that's 3 above it then, where it says adding cave worm nest audio.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
That is the Gossamer research mission.
Okay, well that makes more sense now.
So there's a bit of delay, which is good, because if you're still in the middle of the action and you still have to kill the last worm or whatever, and then Sol is already started talking. I can understand he's enthusiastic that we killed the stuff, but come on.
Yeah,
Wait a little.
you could at least wait until it's actually dead.
Exactly.
Alrighty, now this is an interesting one. I'm be quite interested to wait for this one to try and test this one for science. Adding audio for Kia stealing food from the campfire.
Yeah, we know
Also,
they steal food, but they
you
never
could,
had an audio cue for it.
yeah, you could never tell if they had or actually hadn't unless you're keeping a close eye on it. They
Yeah.
also added Kia idle silly move flap side to side audio.
Already many times I'm standing in the forest in the sticks, and I'm like, do I hear something walking past? And then turns out to be a Kia flying around.
Yeah.
So that's going to be even worse now. I like it.
Yeah, we like that.
Yeah, I like the Kia for some reason or the other.
The Kia is just brilliant. I love that edition.
Yeah. It's a fun, silly bird. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I adore the fact that they added that to the game because, yeah, exactly. It's just one of these silly little idiotic things that make people smile.
Oh yeah, it makes me smile for sure.
Like, for example, and this will be coming up in a Triple F episode at some point, but it might be a wee bit from now, where I chopped down a tree and evicted a Kia. Because the Kia was sitting in the tree branches and it's like, because the tree was falling and it had to fly out. And that made me laugh. That made me laugh.
Yeah.
You have been served an eviction notice, buddy. Get.
Oh yeah.
This is my tree now. Alrighty, moving swiftly on. Impassable mountains not actually changed, but setups slightly modified. Brackets, LOD as collision specified value, close brackets, to suit the tooling as some data cannot be accessed, open brackets, override collision geo, close brackets.
I don't know. They fixed something about mountains you cannot pass. Not sure what they fixed. I'm not a developer. They didn't actually change the mountains themselves, but just the setup of the mountains. I don't know. To suit the tooling, some data cannot be accessed. Override collisions geo cannot be accessed.
Alrighty.
Well,
okay,
so for me, this is just an FYI.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so this is one of these things that we know absolutely nothing about, but they've changed something somewhere.
For some reason or the other.
Yes, exactly. But they're still changing stuff. As long as it benefits us, that's all I care about.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Next one, if you please.
They implemented a new model and updated the flavor text for wood hedgehog. They also updated the hitbox for the scorpion hedgehog to more reliably hit creatures. I've been toying around with the scorpion hedgehogs before, walking up to an elephant. If he comes towards you, and then quickly place a scorpion hedgehog right in his path, just for the fun of it. Hey, it works. He walks into it and gets hit and stuff like that. So for me, it was always reliable, the scorpion hedgehogs. Apparently not for everyone, so they changed that. And also they implemented a new model and updated flavor text for the wood hedgehog, which now reads a medium-sized hedgehog-style defensive structure. Hedgehogs may have been left on Earth, but the lessons they taught will serve as well on Icarus.
Nice.
And they do look slightly different in the tech tree, indeed.
Good. Well,
they look way better, actually. I like the new image.
Alrighty. Well, we might just have to make one to see just how different it looks.
Yep.
Alrighty. Update matches for copper, gold, aluminium, titanium, and steel ingots. Did they not say something about that last week?
Was it for these materials or was this for other materials?
I don't know. But that's definitely ringing a familiar bell.
Metal ingots visual redesign. Polish pass on textures to give each ingot type a more distinctive look, according to last week's patch notes. I do have to say I didn't really see it during the week, so
No.
I don't know, maybe we'll see it now. We'll have to
Yeah,
check.
I mean, I have to say that, I mean, we were making steel,
They
yes, last
looked the
night.
same.
We were
And
making
copper
steel
and
last
gold
night.
and
Yeah,
aluminum and titanium, everything.
they looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
So maybe now they've actually changed it.
We'll see.
Okay, we certainly will, because we'll be making plenty of ingots, that's for sure.
Exactly.
Alrighty. Update mesh for ice and fix physical material being set to wood. Huh?
Updated mesh for ice, so ice will look different now.
Yeah,
Maybe no longer the big as huge blue boulder.
Yeah, maybe it'll be a smaller mesh.
Yeah. But physical material being set to wood. For what? For what was the material, the physical material set to wood?
Well, I have to
And
assume
they
it was
fixed
for
it
the
to what?
ice.
I don't know.
I've never had. I have to say, if that physical fix is for the ice, I have never seen or read or watched anything to do with ice having a physical material being set to wood.
It is in the rain catcher. You can add ice, and it goes into the fuel slot. And I assume the consumption rate there is the same as wood in a campfire.
That makes sense now, yes, because you can't put wood into a rain catcher to start with.
No, and it does say fuel slot. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, we're gonna craft a rain catcher anyway, and I reckon we'll have to visit the Arctic. We definitely visit the Arctic. It's gonna be a bit of a walk.
Yeah.
In our next mission, but hey, we can definitely visit it and bring back some ice and chuck it in a rain catcher to see what happens, to see how it looks.
Yep. Okay. Next one, if you please.
They fixed the glass item mesh having 4 LEDs when lot 0 is 200 triangles. They fixed materials having no physical materials assigned. So for a glass item, if lot 0 is 200 triangles, it no longer has 4 LEDs. Okay. Whatever. Again. I'm no developer.
No.
And they fix materials having no physical materials assigned. So difference again between physical material as in how it reacts to actions. It's a difference between physical material and the mesh. So apparently there were materials which had no physical material assigned, so you couldn't, I don't know, you couldn't interact with it. No idea.
Yeah, that's a bit beyond my capability of understanding, I'm afraid. I'm certainly not a developer.
Yeah.
I can barely get my, fix stuff when I have problems with my computer. I usually have to try and get somebody else to fix them because I am so not tech savvy. But if they fix something,
we'll
I'm all for that.
Yeah. So they optimized the walking bacon textures down to 2K. Hey, if they're making up names, I'm making up names as well.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So they optimized it down to 2K, so they had larger textures. They have now smaller texture size. So performance improvement. Good.
I was
And the
wondering.
way we have our settings at medium, you don't see the difference anyway. But then
Yeah,
again, people who played on Epic, they will have slightly lower textures on the walking bacon.
yeah, I was actually wondering as to whether or not that would play a part in how long it takes for the walking bacon to be highlighted between killing it and skinning it.
No, this has to do with the ragdolling. The longer the ragdoll period, and which is dependent on movement, ground level, things like that. If it dies on a slope, it's gonna roll longer than if it dies on flat land.
Yeah, but even when
So
it stops rolling, it's still moving about, and it, I mean, you can. I've actually had to wait up to 5 seconds for my walking bacon to highlight so that I can skin it.
not for me. Not always. It's variable.
Alrighty. Okay, here we go. This is relative to the very first 4 additions,
Yeah.
I think, implementing damage return stats.
So the 8th bullet point of this diesel change log says adding new damage type returned. Adding new damage type returned. Here they say implementing damage returned stats.
Yes.
So yeah, definitely kind of the same as all of its scorpion armor.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, we're down to the last 4. Let's move swiftly on. Sandworm no longer drops scales for instances of the fire and poison damage. Damage must have originated from physical attack, projectile, or melee.
Makes sense. Kinda. Like you set it on fire, it doesn't drop skills, only for the initial arrow hit.
Yeah, but that.
Otherwise, the farming of skills is gonna be way too easy. You just sit in a distance and just fire. You just shoot fire arrows at it.
Yeah, but the thing about that though is the fact that the use of the fire arrow. I mean, the poison arrows didn't do them any damage. I mean, they didn't get the extra poison anyway because they were immune.
Not really, no. Yeah.
But the instances of the fire was just
Well,
purely so that it would take the fire tick damage. But the point of that is I mean, we've experienced quite a few sandworms, right? The very first one that we experienced dropped maybe 40 scales, right?
yeah,
The
but
second
this has
one,
to do. This has to do with the amount of damage ticks. That's why we started attacking sandworms with knives. You do less damage, so you hit them more often, so it gets more damage ticks, so you get more skills. I think this
yes.
is to prevent players from sitting at a distance and just shooting fire arrows at it.
Well, yeah, but the point of that is that we would always swap between fire damage and ordinary fire arrows and ordinary arrows.
Yeah, we would,
Um,
but not everyone. I mean, if you are like, yeah, I don't want to run any risk. I'm gonna stay in the distance and just shoot a fire arrow at it when it pops up. Sure, it'll take longer, but it'll whittle it down to 0.
yeah,
Well, you can still do it, but you get way less skills now.
yeah,
Whereas if we run in and we basically kill it with knives, we get a ton of skills.
yeah. Well, I mean, the downside to that is you get less scales if you're sitting back hitting it with
Yeah,
fire and or poison damage arrows,
yeah.
but you will still get scales if you're using flint arrows, bow and arrows,
Oh
stone
yeah,
arrows,
yeah, yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
But I suppose that encourages players to get up close and personal.
Yeah.
In order
So
to
take a bit
increase the
more
number
risk.
yes, yes.
I mean, you can cheese it by standing behind a wall and just popping out every so often to shoot a fire arrow and then pop back behind the wall and just wait for the fire to kill the sandworm. I mean, come on. For me, that's cheesing it.
Yeah, that's just lazy play for me. That's just that's just being a
So yeah,
camper.
well, you can still do it, but you won't get nearly as much skills anymore.
Yeah, and
And
it'll
I
take you,
think it's a
and
good
it'll
thing.
take you twice as long.
Yeah, and I
Alrighty.
think it's a good thing if you use that method that you get less rewards.
Yes.
You don't want to run the risk, then you don't deserve the rewards.
Yes, exactly. It's definitely encouraging you to take more risk for more reward, which
Yeah.
is, I think that's an improvement in gameplay, but that's just
Yeah.
my opinion. I don't speak for everybody.
But then again, we are people who create a brand new character to start doing sticks.
Yeah, and then suffered for it.
Sure. Little detail.
Yeah, but having said that, I mean that can be taken on both sides of the pale because you do suffer for it, but then that just makes it more fun.
Exactly.
Alrighty, we are down to the final three. Adding extra information to tooltips which describe modifiers and afflictions.
So give people more info about what something actually does, which, in my opinion, is
It's
a
a
good
good
thing.
thing. Yep,
Yep.
exactly. It's a good thing. Alrighty, the penultimate one, if you please.
Quick pass on item status user interface elements to include better buff debuff visualization, so players can have a better understanding of what buffs and debuffs do.
Nice.
Where is this quick pass? Or
I
is it in the user interface that all the buffs and debuffs are a bit more prominent, and I don't know, maybe give some better tooltip info when you hover over it? We'll have a
yeah,
look. I mean, if you're next to campfire, you already get a warm and cozy buff, so it should be
yeah.
easy to check this out.
Well, the one that immediately springs to mind for me is the fact that you got the puking debuff if you ate a raw pumpkin, which you now no longer get.
Yeah, but this is more like giving people a bit better idea of what the buffs and or debuffs do. So next
Yes,
time I jump off a cliff and break a leg, it should tell me, "Hey, you're stupid for taking too much risk. As a punishment, you now have to walk slowly for the next couple of minutes."
unless
Unless you
you
were smart enough to bring a splint, and you can halve the time, but you will still be punished
yes,
for being stupid.
yes, yes. I would say that pretty much sums it up.
Yep.
And last and certainly not least, we have the Sandworm and Scorpion boss now give the player much more experience when killed, 1,000 up to 5,000 experience.
Or did it go from 1,000 to 5,000? I mean, killing a polar bear gives you over 1,000 damage already. Skinning a bear gives you a ton of experience. And now a sandworm or a scorpion boss gives less, whilst they're way harder. So yeah, it's a good thing they give more experience.
Yeah,
Experience gained should scale with the animal killed. That's why
yes,
you get more experience from a bear than you get from a wolf. Simple.
yes. And you
So
also
basically,
get,
they now extended it to the world bosses, which is good.
yes, yes, that makes way more sense. Way more sense. And it also gives the players much more incentive to actually go and do it.
Oh, I mean, you still have to do it for the mission
Yep.
and for fun. I mean, come on, with our level 50 characters, we don't care about experience no more. We do it for the fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have done the Central missions multiple times.
Yeah. Well, we did have the opportunity in yesterday's stream to kill a sandworm with our level 20 plus characters, but
True,
chose not to.
true, because it was not necessary for the mission and it was end of mission anyway. All we needed to do was run back to dropship and leave. And Carl had to leave as well, so we were like, okay, sure, we go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Carl was
But
on
yeah,
a time.
we could have killed it.
Yeah, Carl was on a time restriction. Otherwise, we probably would have stayed and tried to kill it.
Yeah.
Which would have given us a buttload more experience. But now that we know that,
Not that much more experience, only like 1,000 experience.
yeah, but now that we know that they give more experience, then we're a bit more likely to say, oh, there's a worm boss, let's go and get it.
Yeah, and you get a decent amount of experience. You might gain half a level or so from
Yeah,
one kill.
that would be really good.
Depends obviously on who gives the killing blow. That's something they should change. The experience should be distributed, preferably based on the amount of damage done per player, although that might be a tad hard to calculate. But
Yeah,
it definitely
I
should
think
not be
maybe.
the case that only the person who gives the killing blow gets experience. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
I haven't checked on the Sandworm bosses, but we can definitely look when we do the Scorpion boss. Do we
yeah,
both get experience?
yeah. Well, I was going to say I think that the total experience gain should be split equally between the number of players in the mission.
Uh, Depends. Because then you could say, here's this level 1 character who stays at base, twiddling his thumbs, eating up all the food supplies, drinking all the wine and beer, whilst the higher character goes out and kills the boss, basically does all the work, but only gets half the experience, and the one who stays at base, who does nothing,
Yeah, but
gets his free experience.
I
In
don't
my
think that.
opinion, it would be better the ones participating in actually killing the boss, and like I said, preferably based on the damage you do. So also the level 1 player has to weigh in and do his part.
Yeah,
But again, it might be a tad hard to calculate like which player did how much damage, so how
yeah.
much
I
experience
mean,
should this player get.
I think that trying to calculate which player did how many damage is pretty unrealistic. But I was also going to say that we both know that if you're a certain distance away from your teammate, you no longer gain the shared experience.
Sure, then sit like I don't know, 150 feet away, still within the area of shared experience, but be safe from any attacks from the worm or scorpion,
Yeah,
and basically watch till other people do the work and you gain free experience for doing nothing.
yeah, yeah. Well, we can soon find out. We can soon find out.
Yeah, we'll have a look.
Yeah. And that, my dear viewers, has brought us to the end of the week 27 update for Icarus. That's been a biggie.
Definitely some exciting things to test in our gameplay. Woohoo!
Oh, yeah. Can't wait to get stuck in. Now, I am going to say at this point, it's like 3 minutes to 6 at my end, which means, Corny, you've got 3 minutes to 7. So I am going to say,
Actually, it is 3 minutes to 7 for you. It's
yeah,
3 minutes
3
to
minutes.
8 for me.
Yeah, 3 minutes. Yeah. I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't see the time properly.
Yeah.
um, so I was actually going to say that if we start the the following stream at, let's say, 20 no, actually, let's say 20 past the hour.
So 23 minutes from now.
Yes, that will give me ample chance to change the details and set up the counter and get some more hot liquids and have a cigarette before the next mission. Does that sound okay with you?
Sure. I mean, I'll be twiddling my thumbs for 15 of those 23 minutes, but it's fine.
Yeah. But I think that's how we'll do it. We will start the next live stream at 20 past the hour. And I'm saying that so that is then relevant to every single time zone that you're watching from.
Unfortunately, you did not specify which hour. So an hour and 20 minutes from now?
No,
22
no.
minutes from now, 21.
Yeah, 20 odd minutes from now, we will be starting the next stream for this next mission. Until we see you then, it's a dangerous world out there, peeps. Take care of yourselves and each other. It's good night from me,
And good night from her.
and we will see you on the next one. Bye.